Hey, everybody.
I always like to give people time to join.
So you just stare at them?
Totally,
You're going to stare at me?
Totally stare at you. I've been doing that for like 17 years. Hey, everybody. We are going to talk about how to have a better brain and a better life. We are going to be joined by our friend, Dr. Nicole Avena, who we
She should be with us
adore.
any second. Is she there yet?
So that's
Is that her?
no, that's not right. So how are you doing? Most
I'm
beautiful
so
woman?
busy. So busy. Life with teenagers and...
Tell us where you're
you.
from. Who is the woman?
Who's the woman? It better be only one woman.
Who is the woman? That's hysterical.
Oh, that's very funny.
We are
Sydney?
in the middle of Sydney, Australia. Go Australia Open. We're in the middle of 30 days to a better brain. A project we're doing with Brain MD. Kosovo. Let's see.
Wow.
Nicole, Levine, and Wendy. I wonder if this is it. This works.
No,
No? Okay.
didn't work.
We're waiting on Dr.
Is that her?
Avena.
You can't
If I'm
see.
missing
I can't see without glasses. Are you supposed to invite her or is she supposed to
Nashville,
join?
Canada. How do you invite people? Is there...
She can request or you can invite her. But I don't...
Yeah, she's requested the last couple of times.
Okay.
Cape Coral, Florida, Auckland, New Zealand.
Wow. So cool. I'm like at that age where I have to like get up super close.
Ah, here we go.
There she is.
Look at, we have over 500 people.
I know. That's so cool. Is she joining?
St.
She should be
Martin,
joining.
New York.
St. Martin. How fun. That must be lovely this time of year.
I clicked on her.
You did. Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Well, let's entertain until she joins. We're having trouble getting our guest.
Ottawa, London, Peru. I have chocolate from Peru.
Mexico.
I'm just so excited. So
So
I had COVID. My
You did.
mother had COVID.
And I did not.
My mother-in-law had COVID.
And I did not have COVID.
Uh,
Not that I'm like trying to rub it in.
unable to join.
Yeah, she's not able to join. Why is she not able to join? So we're clicking invite. So, well, we might have to start without her until we can figure out how to get her to join.
So for those of you that are part of the Brain MD 30 Day to a Better Brain, we're so excited. We've only got a couple of more days left. And oh, here we go. We have another request. Let's see if we can make this happen.
So,
COVID is afraid of Tana.
that's what he keeps saying. He makes it sound like I'm so scary. She's on. Woohoo.
Hello.
We don't have a picture, but we have a voice.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh,
Oh, there she is. There she is.
No, that's not
No,
Nicole.
that's not her.
Hey, it's me.
Hi.
I don't know what we
Hello.
got going on here.
I'm just trying to get into the light. Sorry.
Oh, went away.
That was not Dr. Avena.
And she went away. I
This is crazy.
don't know what's
All right,
happening.
So if you've had COVID, would you tell us?
And what was your experience like? Because it's been like all over the board. I've been hearing about people who are vaccinated that have it like over and over. I've been hearing about people who it's like nothing. For you, it wasn't very big. It wasn't very much of a big deal. For my daughter, who's very young, she got pneumonia with it. She got strep. She like wiped out her immune system. Pretty crazy. Our 15-year-old niece, she was really sick with it. So not everyone who's young is like just like doing super well with it. But I mean, they're okay. They didn't go to the hospital, but they were pretty sick. So
what are people saying? Yes, Delta was really sick. Yeah, Delta was really.
I think you didn't have Delta because you were like you kept
loss of taste and smell. No, I probably had.
Yeah, because you kept thinking you were in denial. You didn't really think you had it.
Made you very depressed. That's one of the things that we have seen with COVID. It activates your limbic brain, and the before and after scans with COVID are really interesting. And
you didn't like it that I was like make it like stay away and.
Oh no, it's terrible. Did you have this experience?
I had to take care of 5 people.
Did you have this experience? It was sort of like Cersei in Game of Thrones, like, you know, ringing the bell, unclean, unclean, or being like a leper and having to let everybody know.
Well, I don't want that stuff, and I had to take care of everybody, so. I still can't believe I didn't get it though. Like no less than 6 times. I've had 2 assistants have it, coughing all over me, my daughter coughing all over me, you sleeping in the same bed with me. Still haven't gotten it. So that's a little weird. I'm like wondering about this natural immunity idea. So either that or I take so many supplements, it just is.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons I did as well as I did. I mean, I really work on my immune system. We take smart mushrooms. Well, I make her shake every morning. So the women out there, I don't know how she does it. Here's Dr. Avena again.
Some things we can't talk about on Instagram.
Let's see if we can make this happen. But it's, yeah, I think we're not going to have Dr. Avena with us. It declined it again for some reason. But
maybe if you want to invite her.
Do you know how to do that?
Okay, so I know you can go down here. Nope. Okay, that didn't work. I don't have my glasses on, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I think we should just.
This is what happens when you have people helping you with everything and you're old.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. Effects of psilocybin on the brain. I think psilocybin is going to go the same way as benzos and opiates and marijuana. I read the most interesting article today about alcohol.
What?
You know, they've been saying alcohol is good for you and it's good for your heart. And it turns out it actually can increase HDL, which people think is good cholesterol. Mm-hmm. But they found in long-term studies it's not HDL, it's a lower LDL. So even though it has, quote, benefits, the people who don't drink at all have the lowest levels of atherosclerosis.
Interesting.
And when they say it's this J-shaped curve, you know, people don't drink at all, have higher risks than those who drink a little. It's actually a lie. That they're including in the people who don't drink at all with the people who stopped. And often the people who had abused
it a lot.
Well,
and they
people
don't have a
who
healthy
stopped often had problems, and that's why they stopped. All right, one more time with Dr. Avena, and then if we don't get this, we will invite her next time. And I really want to talk about
There we
There
are.
you are.
There she
Oh my
is.
goodness, so
I have
stressful.
no idea what happened.
Oh.
I'm so glad to see you.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you guys. I was having a hard time logging in from the Brain MD site. I think they might have changed the password on me, so I got to get on them about that. But I'm glad that I made it.
So nice to see you.
Well, hello. And we're supposed to be supporting people who are doing the 30 days to a better brain. And since the last time, I don't know, did we talk when I had COVID?
We talked right after you were having just recovered from it.
Yeah. So we were getting people to comment on their experiences. And a lot of people said Delta was way worse. And I think that's pretty much what people, I think that's what most people's experience is.
That's what I'm hearing too. And I'm over on the East Coast in New York. So I'm hearing the same thing. Most of the people that I know, my friends and colleagues who have contracted the Omicron variant, seems to be a bit more mild. That Delta was a lot worse from them, which was, I think, a good thing. I'm glad we're getting on the other side of this, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I heard the cases in New York have dropped significantly.
They have, thank goodness. Yeah. So we've been seeing a downward tick in everything from hospitalizations to cases. So that's all really good news for us.
Wow, that's really great. So what do we have for the group today to help support them along this pathway?
Well, one of the things I wanted to bring up was last week I did a live talking about the launch of our new product, Calm My Brain. And that was great to be able to talk about that. I'm really excited about that. I know you are too. This has been something that, has been in the making for a bit. I think it's a great product for a lot of people.
It's the biggest launch we've had. So I get the reports every week on, the products people are most interested. And what it tells me is there's a ton of anxiety in the country because Calm My Brain and GABA calming have been in the top 10 of products people want. And why I love Calm My Brain is I'm a huge fan of ashwagandha and theanine and magnesium. Mm-hmm. And so, at Brain MD, we try to put together combinations of products because the brain never gets sick in one way. So going after it in multiple mechanisms seems to make the most sense. But there's a lot of other things to do to manage your anxiety. Supplements clearly can help. What are some of the things you do?
Well, we've got 3 teenagers and me in the house. And when you've got 3 girls that sort of have hormonal issues and a mom in menopause. Yeah, it's really interesting. I've been figuring out how to manage my anxiety and my stress for a long time. And my daughter is just like me. Exercise, exercise, exercise. It's just exercise. Interestingly, she has a really busy brain and I have more of a sleepy brain. So we have very different ways that the exercise seems consistent for everybody. Like that's one thing that seems like a prescription for everybody. For me, GABA really does the trick. I feel high if I try to take any kind of serotonin supplements, but my daughter does really, really well on serotonin supplements, right? So,
so know your brain type. Go to brainhealthassessment.com, brainhealthassessment.com, and we'll tell you which supplements might be good based on your brain type.
Yeah, it's not just like one fits everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Chloe has a really busy brain, so serotonin works for her. Tana has an anxious brain, but also a sleepy brain.
So it makes me feel goofy.
Yeah.
And when I put her on GABA calming, she became so nice to me.
I'm always nice.
Oh my goodness. We just finished our 16th public television special, and we're working on the 15th one. It was right in the middle of the societal unrest, and
that was
Tana was really anxious, so she started GABA calming. And when we did our script together, she was so nice to me. She didn't fight with me at all. There was no drama. She's like, when I take this stuff,
you're making it
so
sound like
much
we fight.
smarter.
It's not that we fight, but I do tend to like question
no.
everything. Yeah, I say no a lot. So I'm like, no, I don't like that. We need to change that. So I have this tendency to say no a lot and say like, no, I don't like that. And then all of a sudden we finished it and I'm like, that's really weird. I looked at him and I go, did you notice that I didn't say no? Like I just realized I didn't really feel like saying no. We got through that so fast. And he's like, I wasn't going to say anything.
Sounds like it made you a little bit more agreeable.
Yeah, I was way more easygoing and just, like whatever.
Yeah.
So,
which decreases your own stress and for certain the stress of the people you care about.
Well, it's so right that, you really do need to know your brain type to know what type of supplements are going to help you, because everybody is so unique. And I feel like we all have, so many different things that we're dealing with in terms of things that can promote anxiety. And it's not always going to be the same in terms of how people cope. Some people cope with food. Some people cope with alcohol. Some people cope with more, positive things like exercise and engaging in hobbies. And so I think it's really about figuring out your brain type and then also figuring out those coping skills and those coping mechanisms and trying to adapt so that you have those more positive ones and fewer of those maladaptive ones.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do, Nicole, when you get anxious?
Oh, well, what I try to do, and I've been doing this for about a year, is I try to predict the anxiety. I know the things that are going to make me anxious. I know when I get a lot of work piling up, when I got a lot of things I have to plan with the family. If I see that stuff coming, I'll know I'm going to get anxious. So I've been trying to work really hard to plan ahead so that I don't take on too much, so that I can avoid that anxiety. But just as like a day-to-day outlet, I'm like Tana, I like to exercise. So exercise classes with my friends, dog for a walk. I mean, I'll just change it up, go for a run with my daughter, try to just, do what we can to get out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've started Pilates recently. I had no idea how hard Pilates is. Gotta tell you, but it's so good for your core and your back, and it's like amazing as you get older.
And I've taken a couple of Pilates classes myself, and I feel like it makes you feel like you're lengthening your body. I almost feel like
are.
When
I'm shaking, like everything is shaking when I walk out. I'm like a noodle.
So some other tips for anxiety. I'm a huge fan of diaphragmatic breathing. Huge. And in a very specific way, 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out. So take twice as long to breathe out as you breathe in. Journaling. Write down the negative thoughts you have and then question them. It's like, Nicole, were you good at talking back to your parents when you were a teenager?
Oh, I was the champion at it.
Yeah, me too. I was excellent. But no one ever taught me to talk back to myself.
Right.
You don't have to believe every stupid thing you think. And then a fun thing we do around here, in fact, we have a niece that we adopted, and she and I, we've discussed having a Department of Homeland Security. So really protecting the thoughts that come into your head and watching. And so she's like hired a whole bunch of protectors, like Denzel Washington from Equalizer.
Yeah. That thought's not getting through.
Punisher, one of the
Punisher,
Marvel.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's such a great idea. I feel like that's especially for young people too, to like kind of have that mindset around.
To guard her thoughts, right.
To guard her thoughts. And then another fun one we do is give your mind a name. So you can just separate. Psychological distancing is a really helpful phenomenon. And so I named my mind after my pet raccoon when I was 16. And I loved her, but she was a troublemaker, just like my mind. So if my mind's like starting to give me trouble, I'm like, oh, need to put Hermie in her cage.
Yes, that's the classic. You can totally tell the difference between the two of us. Yours is all sweet and cute, and mine is like a cross between Beth from Yellowstone and Detective Mullins from The Heat. Like that's my mind. When my mind, if I let it go, that's how she goes wild. Yeah. So not so nice and cute and fuzzy.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. So you gotta get a grip on it.
So we have Calm My Mind, GABA calming, diaphragmatic breathing, exercise. planning ahead to know when you're anxious and taking care of that. Killing the ants. We always talk about the automatic negative thoughts that steal your happiness. So write things down, talk back to them. Too often people go to alcohol, marijuana, they go to benzos, and I'm just not a fan of any of those.
Absolutely.
We always want to, I actually wrote a book behind me called Feel Better Fast and Make It Last. So you want to do things that help you feel good now and later versus now, but not later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, you know, it's really about figuring out what's going to work for you too. And I think that's why it's so great to hear all these different ideas and see in the comments all the different ideas that people are talking about for things that they do to relax and to help with their anxiety. Because, you know, it wasn't until a couple years ago that I really used exercise as a way to deal with anxiety. And it was because I had some friends that I saw really transform their lives by have that as an outlet. And so hearing all these ideas and giving things a try, I really think that's just the way to do it.
Absolutely.
So there are questions about SSRIs and how do I get off mine slowly? And obviously you have to talk to your doctor about it. There's also questions about benzos. And, you know, I always think to myself, don't start something you're going to have a hard time stopping. There's another question about holy basil. And in our product, Everyday Stress Relief, we actually have holy basil and Relora, both things that are calming and help counteract the stress response. And people's cortisol levels are high. And part of it is this societal fight people are having. You're vaccinated, you're not vaccinated, you're a Republican, you're a Democrat. And, you know, let me just say this. You have no influence without connection. Do whatever you can to stay connected. So these things, they're going to settle down over time.
And who do you want to be at the end of this thing? So it's just, it makes people weary. Yeah.
I think people have been, I feel like we've been fighting for a couple of years now. It's like going from one fight to another when it comes to, you know, all of these different things that are happening in the world. So I think it's important, like you're saying, to put it into perspective and to realize that this too will pass. And we have to pick our battles in life. And I think it's more important, especially now than ever, when we're talking about our health, to keep our stress in check. And if you're fighting with every, you know, battle that gets thrown at you, if you're fighting back, you're hurting yourself. You're causing yourself to be stressed, your cortisol levels to go up. And over time, that's going to have a negative health impact on you. So you really do need to be picking your battles these days.
Yeah. One thing that I try to remind myself, it clearly might serve somebody's agenda for me to get caught up in being super angry about all of this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't serve me.
Exactly.
So it's like, why are we allowing this to like really affect us negatively as individuals, as humans, rather than, you know?
Well, Tana and I wrote The Brain Warrior's Way together. And in the beginning of the book, we wrote, you are in a war for the health of your brain. So if you think of big pharma and big food and the news media, they're not about your health.
They never have been. This
I
isn't
often
new.
say the news is actually not the news anymore. It's got an agenda to keep your attention that serves their advertisers.
I wrote that back in Omni, and I got grief for it back then, and now people are like, oh, wait. So,
well,
profit.
Maybe so.
Yeah. I think the news has become more of a source of stress than it is a source of information. Because, you know, we tend to kind of falling down that rabbit hole of bad news. You know, we're not really reading the good news. There's no balance anymore. So I think it's important to keep that in mind and to not let, you know, scrolling through the latest and the greatest of each day in terms of what's going on in the world to get to people, because a lot of people take it to heart and it's hard to pull.
Well, and I love what you just said. The
So-
news is not the news.
Yeah, somebody
Yes,
asked me, Rachel asked me a question about anxiety. She's reading my book, Your Brain is Always Listening. And there's a very specific dragon. So in Your Brain is Always Listening, I talk about the dragons from the past that are breathing fire on your emotional brain. And you can actually tell your dragons, go to knowyourdragons.com. And the anxious dragon's the most common of all the dragons. And there's all sorts of great strategies. And we've talked about some of them to manage the anxious dragon, including GABA calming and Calm My Brain, everyday stress relief. We have a brand new product coming soon, theanine gummies, just because I'm like a huge fan of theanine. They're sugar-free, they taste great. And like magnesium, I saw another question about magnesium. You know, for some people, theanine just focuses them and calms them. For other people, it makes them sleepy. So you just need to know how you react to it. So the first time you take it, don't take it and go drive. The same with magnesium. Magnesium is really good if you have restless legs, if you have trouble sleeping, if you're anxious. But for some people, it makes them sleepy. So don't take it. Like we make magnesium chewables that I love. Don't take it and drive first time.
I take it before bed.
One of the things I love about the new L-theanine gummies that are coming out is that they're fast acting. You know, the effects are within an hour. And that's, I think, one of the things that's really great about L-theanine is you're going to feel the effects right away. And so if you're looking for that quick relief, that's really a great option for a lot of people.
Yep.
So much to do.
So much.
Well, it is so great to see you.
So glad we
look
got you
forward
on.
to this.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll have to figure this out. So
Yeah.
we have more time together.
Yes. Glad we worked out our technical difficulties. And it's great to see you guys.
Absolutely.
What should people be doing for the challenge or for the 30-day Better Brain? They sign up for that at BrainMD, correct?
Yep, at brainmd.com. You can sign up still. And, you know, we're closing in on the end of the 30 days. But I was telling people, you know, I'm kicking it out to 60 days. I'm thinking about repeating those 30 days again, just because there was so much that you can do to improve your brain health and so many great tips, great tactics that you can try out, all designed to help you find new ways to improve your brain and to better your brain. So
well, rather than do it again, we have something very special coming up, You Happier. So anybody who pre-orders this, go to youhappier.com. You get a free bottle of Happy Saffron. So the book's like $25. Happy Saffron is $50. So we're going to give you a bottle of Happy Saffron. Plus, you're going to be able to take a 30-day happiness challenge. And people who did the 30-day happiness challenge last time had 30% increase in their level of happiness. So I'm pretty excited. This comes out March 1st. It's already been doing really well. But if you go to youhappier.com, I'll put that in the link once I post this. I'm just so
I
excited
noticed several
about that.
people asking, how do they know which supplements to start taking for their brain?
brainhealthassessment.com. So I'll put that in the link as well. So youhappier.com, bottle of Happy Saffron. Why do you like Happy Saffron, Nicole?
Oh, you know, it's one of my favorites because it just really affects my mood in a way that I really find that I don't get with other types of supplements. It really just makes me feel relaxed. It kind of evens out my mood. And it's one of my favorites, to be honest.
Yeah, I take it every day. When I learned saffron has 24 randomized controlled trials showing it's as effective as antidepressants. And it's pro-sexual rather than knocks off your libido or your sexual function. And it's been shown to help memory and focus. I'm like, well, I'm going to take that. And I started it right after, I think right after it came out, March of 2020. And I've not missed a day. So it's my favorite supplement.
Yeah, and there is a lot of research behind it. That's one of the reasons why I'm such an advocate for it, because like you said, there's tons of clinical trials, lots of research back behind it.
Yeah.
And do you think I'm happy?
I do. I ran out of it and I didn't, like, I stopped taking it, and you noticed almost like within 2 weeks, you noticed you're like, did you do something different? I'm like, it is not that.
Oh, the joys of marriage. Actually, you've been the most fun of my whole life. You are
Is that
the
right?
top fun person of my whole life.
Oh, that's so hey, that's a sign of a
And
really,
after 16 years, that's a good thing
That
to
is,
say.
yeah, it's better.
that's good. My husband and I have you guys beat. We're going on 19 years this
Oh,
year.
good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The supplement we just mentioned is Happy Saffron. So you can actually get a free bottle if you go to youhappier.com, pre-order the book, Amazon, Target, Walmart, anywhere, and submit your receipt, and we'll ship it to you for free. And in these days of high shipping costs, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And we want you to fall in love with it. I think of it almost as happiness in a bottle. And then you get the book, so then you know how to get happy.
That's a good name.
Biologically, psychologically, socially.
I like that.
Happiness in a bottle.
Yeah.
You're a happiness in a person.
Oh,
Happiness in
thank
a redhead. People like your bangs, by the way. I've been reading that comment.
Thank you.
All right, my friend. We'll
All
talk
right.
to you soon.
So
Okay.
nice to see you.
Guys. Talk to
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.